Hey guys, welcome back. And now let's talk about how improvement really works and where your expectations might be. And from my experience, our expectation is 99% that improvement is just a straight line, right? We just sit down, we study something, and we get a little bit better. Next time we sit down, we get a little bit better. Sadly, the reality is rather a roller coaster. Okay, so in general, it's not a straight line. It is more like a roller coaster because there will be plateaus. There will be moments where we maybe even feel that we got a little bit worse. Sometimes when we learn something new, we need time to adapt this new way of thinking, right? It's not that easy to just absorb something and then say, oh yeah, that's actually very easy. Maybe you did something in your chess study for 5 years that maybe isn't the optimal way, but you got comfortable in doing so. So now if you try to change, in the beginning it might feel weird, it might feel alien to you, like why do I even do it that way? But you need to give yourself time and not just think, yeah, I'll just, the first hour I'll study after this course, I'll just get much better and I win 100 points. That's sadly not how it works. But on a positive side, if it would work like this, everyone would be good, right? So this is where we can really have a different approach than our competition and get better in a more sustainable way, because we know that they might expect that they have a straight line, and once they stop improving, they will lose motivation, they will stop training in the real way, and then we can overtake them because we can do it. Then this is just a little reminder that knowing isn't doing, okay? I really like this quote. If more information was the answer, then we'd all be billionaires with perfect apps, okay? This really also applies to chess, where sometimes you can know something, but it's not so easy to actually do it. So throughout this whole course, I will really try to teach you the knowledge of how you should study chess. But it won't really help if you don't only try to apply it in every single session. That will be extremely important. You can, talk to your friends and say, I know how I should solve tactical exercises. And then they say, well, do you do it? And you're saying, no, I just play bullet. Well, you know something, but if you don't do it, you didn't improve actually. So this is very important. And then let's talk about plateaus, okay? That's one of the most annoying things we all face. Improvement at the moment or at the beginning maybe is a little bit linear, You start playing chess, you see some videos maybe, and immediately, you're already getting a little bit better. Then you see some tactics, you're already getting better. So at the beginning, improvement maybe can be quite easy, but then inevitable at some point you will stop improving and stagnate on the same level. So this is what I call a plateau. This is just to remember, learning anything has ups and downs. Like I said before, it's not a straight line, it's a roller coaster. And here is a learning graph from actually a language learning, from Tim Ferriss's book on learning, the 4-Hour Body. The 4-Hour Chef actually is a book on learning, the 4-Hour Chef, which is a bit counterintuitive. But anyway, let's look at this graph. And obviously it's on language, so just keep that in mind. But the graph looks very, very similar, or the process looks very, very similar when we talk about chess. So first, when we learn something a little bit, it feels easy. We just jump immediately, right? We just learned how to fork pieces and that's easy. But then, we start solving some exercises maybe of fork and we realize, it's not that easy actually. We try to apply it in the game and we feel like, why do I see it in exercises, but in the game I just never see it, okay? So this is the first moment of that it gets a little bit hard. And here you see that he says in months, but it doesn't have to be so long in chess, okay? But it's just, I would say, step number 2 is that you get reality check a little bit and you're like, actually, it's not as easy as I thought. Then it goes a little bit up again, and then we come into the most important phase. And here you see this, the plateau depression. That means in that phase, when you continue to apply what you learned, you actually get better, but it's not so easy to see it during games. And that's a very dangerous moment, because you might get a little bit depressed. That's why he calls this plateau or depression, because you feel like I put a lot of energy inside, I feel that maybe in study or my puzzle rating is going up, but why is my normal rating during the game not going up? What is happening? Am I doing something wrong? And, maybe you get the temptation to just throw everything out of the window and start something new. And this is exactly what we want to avoid. So the most important thing is that you are not stopping in between step 3 and 6, okay? So overcoming a plateau is only possible with a long-term approach. What happens mostly with chess improvers and also in other sectors is that we get to the first point, then we get here, and maybe we get to number 3 and then number 4, and then somewhere in between here, they start all over again. They are saying, nah, this is not for me. I'm just not getting better. I'll start something new, and they go back to 0. Or in chess, that would be, now I try to get better at tactics. Let's just go back to playing bullet, or let's just go back to changing another book or to changing to another course. And then you never get over this inflection point. Okay. So most people get stuck in step 3 to 6 and then start all over again. And this is what we want to avoid. So you want to have a long-term mindset. I will teach you how study really works, how chess study really works. And then you need to trust yourself and give yourself a little bit time. You will accumulate skills and knowledge through the chess study, and it will show eventually during the games, but I can't promise that it will show immediately, because chess is very complex, right? So let's say we study openings. Okay, you know how to create your opening repertoire. Now it might be that the exact openings that you studied, they don't show in your games for quite some time, because people can play different openings. You are now an expert on Sicilian openings, but all your opponents play French. Well, the work you put inside Sicilian, you got better there, but you need some time to actually get these games in so that you can also show it during the games. So that is just one example, but there are a lot of examples. No matter what you study in chess, you will have a little bit similar graph to this. And the worst case is that we give up at step 5.5. Okay, somewhere in between here, where we're just, we're just so close to see the improvement. We're just about to, take what we have in potential and show it during our games, and then boom, we give up. And that is the most painful, and that's what I want to avoid for you 100% of the time. Okay, nobody should invest so much time and energy and then give up just when you're about to get better and to see the results of it as well. So now in the next chapter, I want to talk about how we can avoid this biggest risk, which is giving up, so that you don't get stuck on plateaus and then give up, but you have plateaus, and then boom, you see this inflection point and you see the nice improvement, and then we start all over again, but only when we got better and when we have the motivation and the knowledge that it actually worked. So see you in the next video.